Hey guys, my name is Joanna Leal. Welcome to my channel where I share my stories and art with you. If you're already a subscriber, thank you, you're the best. If you're not, you can click the subscriber button and hit the bell button if you'd like to be updated whenever I post. Now, onto the video. So I'm gonna start by using Paintstorm and lay down a basic sketch of what I want my drawing to be, just with some opacity brush, and I usually play around with different ideas at this stage and just get to something I like. And once I do, I start doing the line work. Sometimes I use transform tool to make sure the proportions adding up and I'm drawing things in the right angle. You can play with the opacity of your layers, so when you're doing the line work you have your sketch underneath and you can just make it look however you like. You can do some adjustments and you can add things, take things off, but your sketch will help you in this initial stage. Now I'll start blocking out the skin colors and just make sure that I add the shadow where I want it to be. I'm gonna fiddle with the hue and saturation in a bit to make it look more like a skin color. I like to experiment with different ways of coloring things digitally. I struggle a little bit because I find it easier with markers and pencils, and digitally color just works a little bit differently for me, but it's a nice challenge that I like doing. So you will see me try different things in different videos. I'll eventually get to something that's like my fail-proof technique, I suppose, but for now I'm still experimenting. On the lips I'm adding some color and shadows, and now I'm gonna do the eyes and make sure that I create that illusion that she's kind of pulling the eye down by leaving a little bit of red. I'm adding some shadows to the face, some deeper shadows. I want her to look quite dark and not as cute but more creepy looking. I add some highlights and then I blend it all in. I blend it in with a soft brush, and when I'm adding shadows and highlights I like to add them with a hard round brush, but then I go in with a soft brush to kind of melt it all together. Now I'm blocking out the color for the crown of thorns and adding some highlights. I started with the shadows here because I just wanted to build up and then know if I wanted to make it darker, which I eventually did with a burn tool, and I added some highlights and moved on to the hair. The hair I like to start with a light medium tone on top of a light tone as a base, and I like to add deeper tones as I go and just create the illusion that the hairs are clumping together in some places and coming apart in others, and that the light is hitting it in a different way. Make sure you leave some space for the highlights. I like to dodge and then add a few more and then smooth it out according to how I'm feeling and how I think it should look at the time. Forgot to paint the ears, so I'm going in now and doing them in a different layer and doing the hands on top of the skin layer. I used the burn tool to add some shadows, and I added some highlights with a brush. Do the nails and the blood on the nails and make sure to erase some of the line work. I added some blood to her crown and now I'm doing the background. I'm using a speckled brush and just adding some texture to it. And for her shirt I decided I wanted to do something flowy and therefore use very harsh shadows to make it look like it was draping. Now I'm just using hue and saturation to make sure that the palette all goes together and everything looks cohesive, and I'm adding some details and highlights to her hands, face and the background. And that is it for this video. Thank you for watching and supporting my channel. If you'd like to follow me outside of YouTube, I'll leave my social media at the end. I'll see you next time. Bye!